we are going to present question 3. So myself is Mishwari and my other team members is will be Trisulan, Sharvendran and Vishnu. So Vishnu, you may continue yourself.
Good day, sir. So the question of our case study is Belbin's theory of group roles is still relevant. So the case study team formation on the basis of Belbin's roles to enhance student performance in project-based learning. So the outline of the case studies are observed that some students within self-selected teams face the same teamwork difficulties described above and resulted in unpleasant learning experience. The impact of forming well-being teams is compared with students teams perform better than students of self-selected teams. Interpersonal skills, positive interdependence and team engagement were enforced. Belbin teams showed an increase in class attendance and interest for the subject. The next slide will be presented by my friends.
So the basic concept of Belbin theory. Belbin defined a team role as a tendency to behave, contribute and interrelate with others in a particular ways. Belbin role behavior is influenced by 6 factors, which is personality, mental abilities, current value and motivations, field constraints or external work environment, personal experience and culture factor, and last will be role learning. Belbin identified 9 team roles and he categorized those roles into 3 groups, which is action-oriented, people-oriented, and thought-oriented. Each team role is associated Belbin identified 9 team roles and he categorized those roles into 3 groups. First will be action-oriented, second will be people-oriented, and third will be thought-oriented. Each team role is associated with typical behavior and interpersonal strength. If we refer to the beside tables, it's action-oriented roles is divided to be shaper, implementer, and completer finisher, while people-oriented roles is divided to coordinator, teamwork, and resource investigation. And last will be thought-oriented role, which is plan, monitor, evaluator, and specialist. Concept of Belbin theory. Belbin identified 9 team roles and he categorized those roles into 3 groups. First will be action-oriented, second will be people-oriented, and third will be thought-oriented. Each team role is associated with typical behavioral and interpersonal strengths. Action-oriented role is divided by 3 categories, which is shaper, implementer, completer, finisher. While people-oriented role is divided to 3 categories also, which is coordinator, team worker, and resource investigator. And thought-oriented roles divided by to 3 categories as well, which is plan, monitor, evaluator, and specialist.
Application to case study. Design and implement form balanced team based on Belbin's roles with the aim of boosting positive interdependence and individual accountability within the teams and improving their performance in a project-based learning environment. Students belonging to Belbin teams acknowledge that they attend class more regularly, they need less time for study outside the classes, and they show a higher interest for the subject at the end of the course. They also agree that working on Belbin teams has helped them to mainly improve interpersonal relationship and social skills, followed by positive independence and individual accountability. This team forming method gives students an opportunity to identify their own strengths and weaknesses and understand the roles, behaviors of their teammates as well as their strengths and weaknesses.
The limitation of the Belbin theory. specifically designed for teams, the most basis of roles. A balanced team does not guarantee high performance because sometimes the mistakes also will happen even though they have a balanced project team. And then the next will be the being blinded by the result. Criticism voice uh, against the Belbin team role theory is that the people risk believe too much in the result, thereby letting it control their behavior. And then the other relevant theories are the Tuckman theories and the band and sheet theories. Tuckman theories used to indicate the stages of the process of the group performance. And there are 5 stages involved in the Tuckman theory. First is forming, second is storming, third is norming, fourth is performing, and the last and final is adjourning. In the bin and shades group role, this theory is defined as 3 categories of group. One is task role related to the getting the work done, personal and social role which contributes to the positive functioning of the group, and individualistic role. It is a bit kind of negative role, but mostly it is disrupt group progress and weakens its contention. Is the Belbin theory of group roles still relevant? The answer is yes. The Belbin theory is relevant for group roles. Using Belbin theory can give people a greater understanding of their strength, which leads to more effective communication in the group. And that's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, anybody have a question about these theories?
Yes. May I know what is the difference between Belbin's, Tuckman's, and Benny and Sheets theory?
Okay. For the Belbin theories, it describes most on the role of the teams and then on their behavior. For the Tuckmans, they used to indicate the stages of the group performance. And then, of course, there are some behavioral standards in each of the stages. And for the band and shade, they have divided into 3 roles, in which each role has their behavior oriented. And it can be also described as a behavioral theory where each task role has their negative and positive notes on that. And one minute, yeah. And is there any other question?
Which theory would you prefer to be implemented in your team?
I will be recommending Belbin theories.
Okay, I just want to ask one question. Under the Belbin's roles, various roles, which you think is the most effective role in a team?
I would say it's communicator finisher and coordinator and teamwork.